Hey guys, welcome back. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be going over how to make a normal map in Painter. So normal maps are a little bit more different just because the height map is also the normal map in this, although they're two different things. So pretty much the height map is a grayscale, and then the normals is obviously the RGB colors. If you look down here in this corner, you can see that this is very similar to 3ds Max, how you have the pivot point. So you can see Y value is green, and then the X value is red, and then the Z value is blue. And this is what normals is pretty much it's calculating where the red, green, and blues are the within like the object and on the unwrap to specify where all these details would appear. So you don't really actually need to do much for the normal map. Pretty much all you're doing is just going to layers, add a layer, and we're just going to turn off height and put in normals. So you can see here, this is default color. This is very standard for normals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the colors, and I want you guys to keep an eye on this little icon here when I change the colors. So you see it's starting to warp a little bit on the blue scale. So let me pop that back up and let me change the colors. So you can automatically see that the normals of the actual paint brush is changing, and this is because we're changing the values of the RGB. So obviously now it's red, it's going to be facing towards the object, and if I turn it green, it's going to be facing upwards. Although they're in the different also like green is not going up, it's going horizontal. That's just how it's showing on this, but on the actual object, it's showing upwards. I hope that makes sense. If not, please don't be scared to ask me in class if you want a bit more demonstration. So I'm just going to pop this back to the normal color. I think it was, yes. So we're just keeping that there. So for example, if you are wanting to add some normals to your object to show that you have done it, if you come back up to the assets on the left hand side and click on the filter, and all we're going to do is click show all. And you can probably see here we already have some normals, but all I'm going to do is go to the search bar and type up normals. Oh, it's not showing. Oh, there we go. So if you just put in norm, then it'll come up with all these cool texture ideas. So you can actually pop these onto the object. So for example, I actually realized I kind of want a bit more buttons on this side. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to grab a circle bump, place it here, and then what we're going to do is use it as a normal. So there you go. So very similar aspect of the height map, but we're doing it through the use of kind of sticking on normals. And you can see here it's a bit more different because we actually have the ability to move this. So how I got this up, the little pivot tool, so if you press W, it's very similar to 3ds Max. So W, E is to rotate, and then R is to scale. So I'm just going to go back to W. So you can see if I pull it away, it disappears, but if I push into it, it's going to appear. So this is a very cool tool, just so that way you can you can copy and paste. If you want to copy and paste multiple, if you just click onto the layer tool up here, copy and paste that, you can see we've added in another one. That looks pretty cool. So yeah, you can add in multiple different normal bump maps onto the object to make it more realistic or a bit more defined than actually painting it on normally. But yeah, so bump, oh, sorry, I meant height and normals are very, very similar aspects within Painter. So realistically, you could just stick to height. It's just for you guys to gain a bit more knowledge on what normals are. And so there we go, guys. This is how you generally know how to use Painter. Woo! Well done, guys. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to export the textures and then importing them into 3ds Max.